Hey, so I wanted to tell you I have great news for you today. Today is the day that you can just push all those woes away. All of that hurt, all of that fear, all of that anger, all of those negative emotions, you can push them away. Just like you do good positive things that scare you. Let those come in. It's okay. I promise you. It's scary because it's not something you're used to. It's not your norm. But it's okay to say, you know what? Why am I holding on to that? Why would I let how that person treated me affect the way I feel today? Because sometimes it was a year ago, sometimes it was yesterday, but it could have been a lifetime ago. It doesn't matter. But the fact is, if you're holding on to something, you're staying stuck in this time period, and you want to you want to keep going. You want to keep chugging along. So the only way you're going to be able to keep going is to say, you know what? I don't have to hold on to that. It's not affecting me. The only thing it's affecting is my brain, the thoughts, the memories that just keep going around like a washing machine. But at some point, even a washing machine drains, right? And then it fills back up, and then it'll drain again. But the whole purpose in that analogy is to understand, let the dirty thoughts go away, let the negative emotions wash away so those clean ones can come in. And then guess what? You're new, fresh, and pressed. And you get to go into your future. Oh my goodness, you can do that. I promise you. It's only thing holding you back is yourself. And I had to realize that myself. And that was a really hard reckoning for me because I kept thinking, hold on. Pretty sure I was holding me back. So I kept thinking everyone else was doing it to me because I kept allowing that baggage to kind of keep collecting new baggage, right? The excuses of the past and why I couldn't move forward, why I was hurt, how people had lied to me or manipulated me. My brain wouldn't stop. And I remember one time that I said something to my sister. I said, I need to apologize to you. And I don't even remember what it was about, but it was from like 5 years before. And she goes, I don't remember what you're talking about. And I said, oh, it's eaten me alive since that happened. And it wasn't anything huge. It was just like a moment of me not being myself in a way and then acting out and kind of poking at her because I'm the baby in the family. So it's always been me being poked, like got teased a lot by my sisters when we were little. And then of course, as we got older, that turned into animosity. And then everyone calls that sibling rivalry. So it just kept growing and growing and growing. So when we became adults and I was traveling all the time, like we never stayed in one place. Um, when we get together, those little instances we would have a blast, but there was still this animosity from childhood and just certain events that kept going. So anyways, when I apologized to her, like I said, she said, I don't remember what you're talking about. And I recalled the memory and she goes, oh my God, you're forgiven. That's fine. I can't believe you even remember that. I forgot about it completely until you said something. So when you do things, you're going to hang on to them. And in reality, most people don't even remember that they happened. So that's where I'm encouraging you that today is a day you can let it go because you can really do yourself a lot of justice by going, that's the past, and it's, it's just certain aspects of life that we don't consider are affecting us, that are holding us back, that are keeping us in this phase that doesn't even allow us to transition and grow up. And honestly, I'm just now growing up. And it's taken a lot for me to understand what I had to let go of in order for me to go, oh, okay, I can do this, and then find the courage to keep moving forward. Because of course everyone looks at age and says that defines if you're grown or not. but there's a lot of children that are more mature and more responsible than a lot of adults. So age is just a number. And it's more of a concept of, if your age bothers you, look at it as you're on a level. Like, shoot, I'm about to hit level 40 and I'm like, I'm almost an expert over here. So when it comes down to it, try to see life as more forgiving and flexible instead of you're being beat down, everyone's against you. Because honestly, if you feel like everyone's against you, it's because you're against yourself. And I know that's a very hard concept to accept, but you have the tendency to beat yourself up more than anyone else. It's like when I was in drill team in high school, I was so hard on myself. And at the end of the season, I didn't rejoin, and my the captain, the leader, asked my mom, why is she not rejoining, because she's honestly like lieutenant material. And I didn't I didn't want to continue with it. And I think because I felt embarrassed myself. I had body issues and all kinds of stuff, and we're wearing spandex and performing in front of the school and other schools, and went to competitions and stuff like that. But that in itself was a building, stepping stones for me to kind of grow up on a level of understanding that would help me become secure. However, it did not play out like that as a teenager. It comes into play as I got older, and those practices that I learned actually have helped now more than they did back then. So, just like I said in the very beginning, today is the day that you are free, that you get to go woosah, and you get to embrace whatever tomorrow is going to bring you, or even today. I mean, you can open new doors for yourself by closing old doors in your mind. And shoot, at this point, slam them shut. First, kick the baggage out, let it go, because if you keep the baggage in there and you lock it in, you haven't really allowed yourself the ability to keep stepping forward. So got to kind of just embrace that we're all human, and that we do things that are out of character a lot of times, and that there's no reason to hold guilt in that. The easiest thing is to be able to say, I'm sorry. And when you can find the courage to say, I'm sorry, and accept what you did wrong, or how you acted out of character, then you'll start being able to move forward without having to say, I'm sorry, because you become more self-aware. It's like even last night, I worked a 12-hour shift yesterday. Then we went bowling. Then we had to go to the grocery store, and then I had to be up again by 5:45. So it was around 11, and I'm exhausted. I hadn't even eaten most of the day because I was busy. Those are excuses. But anyways, everyone knows me, and they're like, uh-oh, she's hangry. Feed her, she's gonna get mad. And my boyfriend even said, baby, you want me to stop and get you something to eat? No, I'm fine, I'm gonna make it back to where we're at. So I started getting cranky, and my attitude was coming out. Hold on. Okay, so as my attitude was coming out, kind of like the hangry monster, he started going, baby, no, I don't want to hear it. And my son goes, what? Get a massage? I said, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about how I can get a manicure or a pedicure or get a massage. I don't care. And I sat in the seat like this. And I went in and soaked in a jacuzzi bath. And he had me dinner ready when I got out. But then I laid down and didn't say anything. And I heard, come over here and give me a kiss, because we don't go to bed angry. And I said, oh, I'm not angry. But I was still in that mindset of, whatever. Like, I still have my moods. We all have these moods, believe me. I can be a hoity-toity little, but I can also be a very caring, loving, and kind person. So like I said, there's moments that will get you out of character. For me, particularly, it's being hungry because I've been busy and being tired and anxious and stressed. Of course, we all deal with these emotions. So be forgiving with yourself. Let yourself understand that it's okay. And then when you do have those moments, just apologize. Because I even said, I'm sorry that I was acting a little aggressive and not being nice. And thank you for making me dinner. I did appreciate that. So start giving gratitude. Start telling people what you appreciate in them rather than what you want from them. Because if you're sitting here trying to tell people how they're going to fit into your world, there's no point in them being there. You're not programming anyone to be with you. You're actually learning to be flexible, to work together in a cohesive relationship that will allow both of you to grow, create memories that are beneficial for yourselves, um, have a happy life together. Because if you want to keep being so controlling, I was that person for a really long time. Like, you don't ever help me. Why don't you ever help me? God, are you going to do it like that? You're not doing it right. I mean, know it all. And I finally had to go, you know what? Show me how you do it. And I had to sit back and realize this is a blessing. Like, I'm not having to work so hard. I'm getting help. And as an Aquarian, we don't like help. We don't, and I can't speak for all Aquarians, but for myself, to accept someone helping you is almost like admitting defeat and you couldn't do it yourself. And that's like no, I don't need you. I've even said to multiple people, I don't need you in my life. It's because I want you. And that that comes from a trauma concept of, if I need you, then you can manipulate me and hurt me. So I had to learn that needing someone was a way of loving them in a different way. Like, I'm not, I'm saying in the point that when you need somebody to help you with something, for instance, I'm really short and I can't reach certain things, even in the grocery store. So when I ask my kids, of course, they like to dog on me, like, oh, Shorty can't get it. So I've had to learn to be like, nope, nope. Either I can get on your shoulders or will you grab that for me? So I normally have to take an assistant to the store with me. And that's okay, though, to allow others to help you. And that is something that victims of trauma or survivors of trauma, don't ever label yourself a victim. You are a warrior. You are a survivor. Empower yourself with your words. But when it comes to being in that mindset that if I let you help me, I'm going to owe you something, try to get out of that mindset. Because honestly, opening yourself up, being vulnerable, and allowing someone to help you is going to save you a lot of heartache. It's going to save you even some physical pain, mental anguish. And then as you allow others to help you, believe it or not, you're helping them by allowing them to have that giving spirit. So it's the ebb and flow of learning how to need in a proper way, because there's also the other aspect of it, to where when you're in a manipulative or abusive relationship, they'll convince you that you need them and that you can't survive without them. And I remember that mindset as well. It kept me stuck actually for many, many years in a toxic cycle, because I needed that person. I needed that person to be able to eat. I needed that person for a roof over my head. I needed that person to almost discipline me. And it was because I didn't trust myself. And oddly, the person I needed was the one that convinced me I couldn't trust myself. So it was a nasty little cycle. So when you can start getting to a point where you get out of your mind, you get out of that toxic mindset, then you can start embracing your own power again. And you can start understanding that, okay, it's okay to communicate, be open, be vulnerable, and you're not going to hurt anyone, including yourself. Hold on. It's always really hard where I don't know where I left off, and then I have these conversations that almost validate everything that I'm talking about with you. So the other concept that needs to be added to this is be patient with yourself and everyone around you, because we're all on different paths. We're all on different points in our journey. So where you might know something and you try to share it with somebody else and they're like, nope, doesn't apply to me. It's because they can only hear you as far as they've healed, if that makes sense. So especially between masculine and feminine energy, we're working on different concepts within ourselves. Like the person I just talked to, he's working on dealing with ego and trying to heal situations for himself. And I've heard several times that divine feminines, divine feminines are further on their journey. So, or they wake up sooner, let me say. So, a lot of females, not even females, because the feminine energy resides in masculine and feminine, but whoever's in that energy that has woken up first and worked on that healing, they've progressed a little bit further. So when you come into contact with whoever your counterpart is, you can start butting heads, because you've got one that's been awake and then one that's waking up. So of course the one that's waking up is kind of like, I don't want to deal with that. And they can't grasp what you're telling them, because they have to go through the same process. Now it's up to you to decide, am I going to wait for this person, or am I going to keep moving forward on my path? And maybe we intercept again further down in our healing journey, because I'm going off into a totally different concept between divine union between masculines and feminines. But anyways, the whole point of all of this, and I'm going to go back to it real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and jump off here because I know I've been rambling. But remember, today is your day that you're free. So allow yourself, break the chains, hug yourself, forgive anyone you need to forgive, and just say, hey, it is what it is. And now it's going to be whatever I make it. So happy Thanksgiving if you're going to enjoy it. And if not, enjoy your day. If you're traveling, safe travels. And as always, peace, love, and light. And I will holler at everybody later. Bye-bye.